to the cinema in person. Sets us up nicely to invite our resident film critic, the lovely Van Connor, to the show. Evening, Vanna. How are you?
Hello, Lily. How are you?
I am okay. All the better for speaking to you because I love this part, because I love films and I still don't really know what's going on. So you are here to help us out. So we've got two films. I'm going to be honest here, Van, one of which I have heard of, and the first one I have not heard of.
Right. And do you know what? The best part is the first one is a movie that I've been excited for as long as the second one. And we've had to live through 2 years of marketing on the second one. So let's talk first then about Boss Level, which is on Amazon Prime today. So if you're an Amazon Prime subscriber, you can stream this freely from today. This is their big premiere today, and it's directed by Joe Carnahan, who famously gave us the A-Team and The Grey and Narc. Like, he does hard-boiled man movies. You know Joe Carnahan. they're manly movies he makes, and he's fallen into this pattern now ever since The Grey, which was I think it was 2012 now. The Grey, which is an amazing movie, very underrated, and he's fallen into this pattern ever since of working with Frank Grillo, who's one of the great up-and-coming sort of B-list action stars. And they've now joined on this together. They've got a production label together now where they are making movies together. And this movie is effectively, Carnahan's directing, Grillo's starring. The plot is you've got this sort of ex-Black Ops, roguish, swarthish, kind of, bachelor icon type, lives in the loft apartment, knows how to kill a guy with his bare hands, wakes up every single day with SWAT teams pouring into his apartment to murder him one by one. And then he gets killed, and then it's like Groundhog Day. And the day restarts over again. And this is going on and on and on. He knows it has something to do with this mysterious, supposedly evil billionaire played by Mel Gibson. The fact that he's played by Mel Gibson is kind of a hint, if we're being honest. And of course, he sets out to sort of, beat the video game-like system of infinite lives to see if he can reach the quote-unquote boss level. I've got a clip for you.
Here we go.
I used to complain that every day felt the same. And now every day is the same. Seriously. Shoes, pants, rip them, flip them. Okay, coffee, anyone? I don't know how this is possible, but I keep repeating the same day. Sorry, pal! As many times as I've seen this happen to my apartment, I still can't help but think I'm never, ever getting my security deposit back.
Now, I wasn't expecting it to be funny, Van, which I'm enjoying. And Frank Grillo, I mean, he surely has the perfect name to be an action star as well.
He really does. Now, Frank Grillo, he's one of those guys that you will have seen actually a lot more of his work than you think, because, he's a player in a couple of the Captain America movies, plays Crossbones or Runlow in that. He's in the Purge series as well. Again, The Grey, which was a huge thing. Like, Frank Grillo is breaking out. He's kind of one of those guys like Scott Adkins, who's just waiting for kind of the big mega star role. Like, he'll turn up as the villain in like a Statham movie in a year or so, next couple of years. But this is a pretty good showcase of why I've just said all of that. Like, he gets that humor and he has that roguish, know he smells like a rich mahogany. You know his bristles feel a certain amount, of course. Like, he's got this action patois down. Like, this guy knows his stuff and he handles the physicality and the humor very well. The film is not quite as good as the concept. The concept's great, which is, when you get like Groundhog Day or Edge of Tomorrow or something like that, there's always that bit in the second act when the characters eventually just go, you know what, let's have some fun for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
This is literally what happens if you just do that for a movie. That's the concept. But rather like Can't Hardly Wait in the late 1990s did the same thing with the high school comedy party scene, where they just did, let's do that as a movie. This one doesn't quite work as well. And so what you get instead is a really good gimmick that wants to be kind of this decade's Crank, but instead just feels feels like it keeps getting distracted and waylaid. There's a flashback in the first act way too long, and I can't believe they've wasted Naomi Watts the way they have. But you know what? At least Mel Gibson's get to have a good time. If you've got Amazon Prime, you want a proper, like, for the Gerard Butler crowd, 18 rated, violent sort of video game ideology kind of action romp. Check this out. It's a good time. If not, if you want something a little bit more family friendly, but not entirely dissimilar, check out film number 2.
Yes. Now, as soon as you said it's like being in a video game, I thought, wow, these two are so like a marriage made in heaven. They've come out on the same day. But as you say, much more family friendly feel, which is Free Guy.
Yeah, I did say to producer Stuart in advance, we're basically having an unofficial video game week this week. Apologies, not my choice. It's a Free Guy, which stars Ryan Reynolds as... It's speaking of Gerard Butler, there was a sort of a joke doing the rounds on Twitter that this is sort of a loose remake of the Gerard Butler movie Gamer from 12 years ago, which I adore, and I assure you this is not. Okay. This is effectively Grand Theft Lego Movie is the best way to describe it. So it's the Lego Movie with humans, but instead of being set in the Legoverse, it's set in the world of sort of Grand Theft Auto meets Fortnite. And Ryan Reynolds is sort of your Emmett figure. He's just sort of everyman, but he's a non-playable character. He's a sort of forgettable throwaway piece of the game. When you're playing Grand Theft Auto and you run up to the car and you press triangle and you pull that bloke out, throw him across the street and steal his car, Ryan Reynolds' mate would be the guy you've just pulled out of his car. Ryan Reynolds himself works in the bank that gets robbed 5 or 6 times a day. And that's how they just see the world. They wake up the next day, they forget about it, but he starts to realize exactly what he is. And along the way meets a female player played by Killing Eve star Jodie Comer, starts to fall for her because she's this sort of trinity from the Matrix, like, video game goddess presence, like Karen Gillan in Jumanji. And this just leads to all sorts of wacky hijinks, like our clip in which 2 of the server administrators log into the game posing as policemen effectively to take out what they think is a rogue player and not a video game character gaining sentience.
Listen up, Neutrogena. You know you can't go around looking like that. The rules are clear. And another thing, you can't hack the NPC avatars.
No, sir.
It screws up the mission load, and it makes the game look bad.
Horrible!
Yeah. I got like 5% of that.
Lose the skin!
How am I supposed to get rid of my skin?
Take it off, man. Just take it off. What are you doing?
What? Seriously?
The whole thing. The face, the outfit, everything. Ditch it. If you don't, we're gonna kill you.
Why? And we're gonna keep killing you.
Still why? Until we do find out who you are, and then we're gonna ban you for life.
No. Okay, I want to comply. I just find the order of those threats very confusing.
Somebody's about to get shot.
Light him up!
Now, Van, I love anything with Ryan Reynolds in. You have 30 seconds to tell us your review of Free Guy. Off you go.
I mean, it is Ryan Reynolds doing Grand Theft Lego Movie. To be honest, if that pitch alone doesn't sell you on the movie, I don't think the film itself will. It's very steeped in video game lore. It plays at times like Ready Player One, other times it plays like Pixel, other times it plays like Wreck-It Ralph. But all of this is tied together in that vintage Van Wilder-esque Ryan Reynolds, because it's always the Van Wilder performance, just always in a slightly different context and setting. But you know what? It works as well as it ever has here. There's a barrel of laughs. We have some great pop culture nods, and Jodie Comer absolutely steals the show in this. She kills it. She's got like actual serious big screen potential in her.
Brilliant. Van, as always, it's a pleasure. Thank you so much, my friend.
Till the next time, Lily.
Thank you.